Yo, what's up, gang? It's your boy Who74 back with another one. It is Saturday, October 25th, 12:40. So it just hit October 25th, 40 minutes ago. Okay. I just got off work not too long ago. I did a double today and a little bit more than 16 because I had late release. But this week's chapter came out early. It's been out since like Wednesday, because today is only Friday. The spoilers came out Monday, and my work week was just too busy to get on top of it. So it's been so stressful for me to stay off YouTube to try to not get, you feel me, to not try to see anything outside of what I already know from the spoilers, okay? Um, but I'm pretty sure by this time everybody don't seen the spoilers, heard something about it, seen something about it. I got spoiled on one thing outside of reading the spoilers. I got somebody showed the image of how rocks look with the Domi reversing. Kind of pissed me off that I seen it as soon as I opened up Facebook this morning. But shit. Oh well, you feel me? That's why I decided I'm gonna get in here tonight when I get off work. We gonna do this chapter review. If y'all wondering why I'm not in my normal background, it's because every day some new shit. Beefing with my bitch right now, but life still lit. We gonna do this motherfucking manga review. You feel me? That's all y'all need to know. Don't stay out my motherfucking business. Okay? But let's see what we smoking on today, y'all. I got 28 grams of pre-rolls. We trying to see what the percentage is. All right, we ain't got too much going on today. We got 24%. All right, 24%. And we smoking on Candyland, y'all. We smoking on Candyland today. So, y'all know the routine. This is a channel for mature, mature anime fans who like to smoke, okay? This is a stoner anime reviewer channel, okay? So, I already got the chapter pulled up on my phone. We about to get into this review. So go ahead, kick back, relax, flame up, review with me. Shit, you feel me? You already know if you ain't got a blunt smoke, feel free to hit mouse, not tap mouse to the screen. And we about to get this rolling, baby. Yeah, look at my son. Do do do. All right, gang. We gonna talk a little bit of predictions for the next chapter after this too. Okay, y'all. So let's get into the review. First thing first, hit that. For sure, for sure. We lit. Let's go. All right. So let me get this security shit on. All right. So starting off, we got a bullshit cover spread. Ain't no holy Inari Shrine pilgrimage. We got Luffy and some monkeys, as you guys see. Nothing special. Luffy and some damn monkeys. We probably ain't gonna get another good cover story for a while. They just finished up the Holy Inari Shrine pilgrimage, so in all honesty, just be expecting this fan requested bullshit for a while. Let's see if they gave us who the fuck requested this. Cover request by Toshika Zoo. Toshika Zoo, you dumbasses. Fucking idiots. I might peel off, go get me something to drink, but for the meantime, so moving on. So we pick up where we left off with Emu Saturn showing up, shorty. He's big, he's silhouetted. We got the Marine soldiers looking at him. They like, Saint Saturn? What is this form? Is this an ability? And then Emu looks at them and says, such eyesores. As you see, the the tattoos on, we all know how Saturn tentacles look, right, gang? The tattoos on this shit, shorty, like, he had those black, like, tattoos that's like look like flames on this going down this tentacles before you get to the claws on the tentacles, his spider legs. Those things, those tattoos peel off, turn into like shadowy spider legs, and they just start running through the Marine soldiers that's standing in front of Emu. And not only the Marine soldiers, but pirates also. He just running through their ass. I'm time out for how Karama did Kushina and Minato. He running through their ass like that. So they all screaming. He called them eyesores. He don't like humans. And the pirates are screaming. They're like, it's going after the Marines. Isn't it on their side? So they confused on Phonum Grave. I would be too. Hit blunt again. Mhm. I mean, this shit tastes good. How y'all like it? I like it. You feel me? I ain't gonna lie. It's a what it was 24, 25%. Getting to the head a little bit. Already, maybe I'm tired. All right. So then we see more pirates running. They got the treasure. You feel me? They got treasure chests in their hand and they all running trying to get away. But Emu running through their ass. So like I said, it's going after Marines. Isn't it on their side? And then somebody else says, scratch that. Looks like it has it out for all of us. And they all just get to fleeing. We see one of the Marine soldiers screaming out, everybody fall back. As we cut to a outer image of the island, which is God's Valley, folks. We're still at God's Valley. Do not forget we're at God's Valley. We see an outer view of the island with more dialogue. People are screaming, keep your distance. Attacking is prohibited. Secure the escape route instead. So the Marine commanders are yelling at all the troops to fall back, keep your distance. Attacking Emu back is prohibited, even though that motherfucker is running through they shit right now. Let me go get me something to drink. That don't make sense. That don't make no motherfucking sense. This motherfucker running through me and my homie shit. I'm watching my homie die. This motherfucker popped up, looked at us, called us assors, and started, you feel me? He got the spitting in their ass on phone, and you gonna tell us we can't get our lick back. All right. So continuing on, now we cut to one of my main attractions for this whole flashback. I'm really trying to see what's going on with this guy. What is he finna get into? Like, Rogers, Gold D. Rogers. And we see Rogers, he's looking at one of the pirates on the ground. He's saying, hey, get a hold of yourself. And the guy on the ground are saying, this pain is oddly compelling. And then Rogers like, what are you gabbling on about? And then he says, damn it, my crew's been, and he calls for Gabon. Gabon, cover these guys, carry the treasure and get out of here. Gabon says, not this again. You just don't do anything crazy, okay? So Rogers is a goon, shorty. Even though the whole Sharky shit over with, we gonna still call him Goon D Rogers on phone them, cause he a goon. He see all this shit going on, fo, and he see that shit, and he like, you know what? Scopper, take care of them. I'm going over there. You feel me? And Gabon, like, come on, fo, not this again. You just want to go over there to fight for real? Like, all this going on, you sense that powerful hockey. He ain't say all that, but it's like, you sensing the powerful hockey. You hear all the screaming. You want to go over there. Just don't do nothing crazy. He already know he can't stop him. It's just something about Rogers, bro. At this point, has still captivated me more, but it's just something about Rogers, bro. Especially his English voice. So I love that man English voice. He just sound like a pirate, fo. English wise, I love Kid voice. I love Blackbeard voice, and I love fucking Rogers voice. They voice captivates me in the English dub. I don't really care for a lot of other people voices in the English dub, but like English dubs really suck with their voiceovers. It's only once in a while you get a Sean Schimmel, you feel me, on phone them, but Rocks, I mean Rogers is on the way. He's on his way to the battlefield, okay? So okay, we gonna get into that, but I ain't gonna say nothing. We gonna, like I said, we gonna talk predictions after I read the chapter, so we gonna keep it for that, okay? All right, so now we cut over to Garp. Garp is picking up a Marine soldier by the shirt and he's yelling at him like, what the hell is that freaking monster? And the soldier is like, no idea. Saint Saturn just transformed. And then Garp looks up and says, one of the five elders, huh? This is my first time seeing one. What a fitting look. He says, what a fitting look for the head of those maggots. So Garp confirmed that this is his first time seeing one of the elders, okay? He has not seen one before. This is his first time seeing one. And as Garp is throwing all these insults, the Marines that he's jacking up and interrogating, they screaming like keep it down, because Emu is right behind him. But he's not worried about them because even though Emu is behind them, his back is turned because he's clearly facing Rocks, who is on the other side. And Rock says, hey, if it isn't the Rat King, he said, if it isn't the Rat King, came to kill me yourself, huh? And he's just standing there with an epic pose with his sword still in the ground like that, fo, with his motherfucking cape on. Hit blunt to this, bro. We gotta hit blunt to this. This nigga is He just screaming aura. Look at him. Like he's just screaming aura, fo. And I don't even use that word. That's some new modern day shit that I hate. But that's the only way you can describe it, fo. In my turn, we'll say he just got swag, fo. On phone them. He get his swag is undeniable. So Emu says, "So thou art the one. So thou art the one, Davy Jones." And then Rock says, "Afraid you got the wrong guy. I never met that man." And then Rocks also follows up by saying, that said, I believe promises are meant to be kept. And then Emu says, that's precisely why your wretched ilk must be expunged from the annals of history. Your wretched ilk. Emu got away with words. So Emu swings at Rock and says Moo's world remains incomplete as Rock jumps up and slices off the tentacle. The spider leg that Emu was attempting to cut him down with. And so as we see in that, like I said, Emu says Moo's world remains incomplete. And then Rocks, as he's defending himself, he says the world ain't yours. And we see some Marine soldiers. We see Marine soldiers standing off in the background looking, saying, Rocks, that crazy bastard, he's going after Saint Saturn. And then another one says, what now, Real Admiral? Should we provide backup? And the real admiral just sitting there looking like, well, shit, well, he don't know. He bitched out right now. And then Garp says, damn right we should. He say, move it. And they like, Vice Admiral Garp, wait, what? Who exactly are we backing up? And then we cut over to some other Marines who are standing off with the pirates still. They got their guns pointed at the pirates while the pirates are looting more treasure. The Marines are screaming, the pirates are taking the treasure. Stop them. Those are world-renowned items. And then we see Captain John drinking a bottle as he's saying things are getting pretty crazy here, huh? He say, how's the transportation looking? We're ready to go, Captain John. He's asked his little soldiers how the transportation going. He's standing there just drinking booze and you see all the hockey lightning just beaming off in the background. So he like shit getting kinda crazy. And he asks his guys like, you feel me? Is the, evacuation ready yet? Transportation be ready to go? And they say, yeah, it's ready to go. He wiped his face, and then we cut over to Dragon running with a baby Shank still. Dragon is saying, what's going on? What was that terrible shriek? And then he sees a Navy ship. He started running towards the ship saying, I have to take the kid. And that's then he just get yanked back. He says, what the? And just like it says in the spoilers, you see Dragon getting pulled, 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 and we see everything else getting pulled as well from the other pirates, like all their treasure, the treasure chest, all that shit getting pulled. Dragon, cause he got a gun on his back, and Gabon and his axes are getting pulled. Somebody says, or no, Gabon himself says our metals are reacting to something. It's getting small. The dial. Okay, okay, I can zoom in. He says our metals are reacting to something. Don't let go. And then we see Captain John with this big ass smile on his face saying, "Big Eater." Then somebody says it's got to be Captain John's power, magnet power. It's cause a strong magnet pull to the valley's it's causing a strong magnetic pull to the valley's southeast entrance. So yes, it is confirmed that Captain John does have kids fruit. Officially confirmed. I was definitely one of the first people to point that out in a review. Like I noticed it when I was reading it real time. I was one of the first thing I noticed about him, that metal arm on this motherfucking arm when they showed up to fucking God's Valley. I'm not one of them whizzes that could be like, oh, in chapter, because I can't tell you which chapter it was. I think it was 159. I think it was 1159. Have we been in God's Valley that long? Yeah, I think it was 1159, but I'm not one of them motherfuckers that's whiz enough to be able to tell you exactly like that. I know my anime and my comic shit don't play with me at all, fo. You feel me? I just don't pump out content like people, but no, I'm not one of them whizzes that could tell you exactly what issue, what chapter, what page. Can't do it. All right, so going on, continuing on, we see all the treasure coming to John. John says, to me, out my treasure. And then we see Rogers running, says, "Do whatever you want, just get out the way." And we see the big guy with the gold armor. I forget his name from the Rocks Pirate. The guy who had the centaur body when they was on fucking damn that shit with Gecko with Kozuki Moria. Thriller Bark. Yeah, that's it. Thriller Bark. All right, so we see him and he got his finger like that. We already know what it is from the spoilers, but even if you don't know the spoilers, if you don't know that pose he's striking, and you can literally see the little black mark on his finger, he's flicking the booger bomb, fo. He got Mr. Two's, what was it? Was that Mr. Two? Was Mr. Two the one with the sword? So Mr. Two was the one with the booger, but he got one of the Baroque Works guys. He got one of they devil fruits. So seems like everybody from the Rocks Pirates, low key, had devil fruits besides Rocks himself. Okay, that's what it seemed like so far. Well, at least all the main relevant motherfuckers from the crew. Big Mom, Kaido got one now. Whitebeard, John, Booger folks. I don't think Wang Ji has a devil fruit though. But we don't know shit about Wang Ji outside the fact that he's a snake bitch. He looked like Karibo, Caribou, however you pronounce his name, and he got off screen, fo. He got off screen. Blackbeard got that get back for his pops. Aha, fuck is you talking about? Don't respond to shit with rocks. I'm like, fuck it. You tripping. Go get your shit. I don't know. Anyway, back to it. Hit blunt. All right. So as he flicks that booger bomb at Captain John, the name of the attack is called Sky Snake Red Cannon. And it creates a pretty big explosion. I ain't gonna lie. Cause John was trying to slam them out and take all the treasure and evacuate with his little crew. But Gonzui, ain't that his name? Gonzui? He re he peeped that shit and was like, nah, hell nah, you ain't slamming shit. So as Gonzui shoots Captain John, we see Captain John looking assed out, and then going back to Dragon, he's falling with all the treasure because the magnetic effect of the devil fruit has been canceled since he got distracted, getting his ass hit his ass with a Glock booger, Glock booger. And then we cut over as we see Dragon fall into the ground with Baby Shanks. He's still holding on. And then we see motherfucking Shiki coming up behind Gonzui, that is his name, saying, "Hey Gonzui, why'd you attack John?" And then Gonzui says, "You really think that he split all that loot with us?" Gonzui then says, "Aren't each of those treasure chests worth at least 1 billion?" And then Shiki is like a billion. And then Gonzui says, "Can't blame anyone for wanting to hog all of it." As Shiki turns around and looks, you see Vice Admiral Garp running. He charging, and you got all the Marine soldiers holding on to him like they trying to drag him back, saying, "Vice Admiral Garp, you can't. That's one of the world's overseers." He said that's one of the world's overseers. And then Garp says it looks like a pest to me. So what the fuck does Emu look like? Because Rocks called that motherfucker the king of rats. And then Garp just said that motherfucker looked like a pest. I believe in a Spoilers. The spoiler translation, somebody says something about a vermin or something like that. Somebody says something about a vermin or something like that. You feel me? So emu has to be like some type of prehistoric creature or being or race that existed before humans and all this other shit came along. He gotta be something. He's not human. You feel me? He's not none of the other races that we know about. He's some type of race that we have not seen before. And I guarantee it's gonna be some type of progenitor race. So Garp run into the battlefield. We cut over, we see Kaido in his dragon form. He's looking at rocks, and him and Whitebeard are watching rocks and motherfucking Saturn Emu fight, but they not helping. And as they sitting there watching, one of them says, "Say something for me, rocks." And then we hear somebody says, "Kaido, you damn brat." Kaido look back and we see Big Mom on top of Zeus with her sword charging at him full speed. She says, "I'll kill you." And then Kaido opened up his mouth to shoot a fire blast at her, saying, "You jealous? Check this out." I don't think he's shooting at her though, because at the same time he's shooting at her, I mean he's charging at her. We see Whitebeard charging up his attack. We see Rocks charging up another attack. Rogers just showed up on the scene and he's cocking his sword back. He's saying, "This is my catch, Garp." And then Garp is cocking his fist back as he screams out, "Galaxy." Impacto. And then Rogers throw his divine departure, Kamisaru. And Rocks throw a motherfucking what Rock said. Rock's throwing an attack called Pandemonium of the Abyss. And then we see Kaido just screaming out Dragon, which is probably gonna be like he do in the anime when he shoot that beam out. And then we got Whitebeard throwing out a named attack called Shattered Void, and we got Big Mom with Ikoku Sovereignty. Okay, so we have named attacks for Whitebeard, Rocks, and that's it. Because we seen Divine Departure before, we got Galaxy Impact before, and we also seen Ikoku Sovereignty before. She threw that at Zoro and them. Um, but we never got a name attack from Whitebeard, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong. And this is the first I know for a fact Rocks attack also. So they launched this attack, and you could just see these different attacks like wham into Emu for like just you could just see them. They just whamming all into his shit, for. And then going on to the next page, we see like they actually broke Emu apart. But when I mean broke Emu apart, it looks like if you were to like take a fire and just like start throwing a bunch of shit through it at the same time. Like you know how it like busts through the fire, but it doesn't like really. He's like withering away. He's not really breaking apart. He's more so withering, like a flame getting weaker and fading away. So as that's happening, Emu then screams and shoots off a hockey blast that knocks out really everybody that ain't him on that island right now. You feel me? When I say ain't him, I don't mean that ain't Emu. I mean like anybody that ain't like, boss status in that area. Because not on the island, because we cut over and we clearly see that Dragon is still conscious with Baby Shanks. So as Emu was letting off all this crazy hockey, we got all these soldiers running, screaming. What is that? Is it the start of an Armageddon or something? And then somebody says, "Look, look alive! The treasures flew." Oh, these the pirates. I ain't really tripping about them. They still bitching about treasure. Whatever. Moving on. Then we see Dragon. He's on the ground, still holding Baby Shanks, and he's like, "That's intent. That was intense." But then when he looks up, he's not holding Baby Shanks anymore. He had a fucking wooden stump in his hand, in his arms. How that happened, I have no clue. Like, how did you not? I don't know. We're not gonna get into that. That's I gotta hit my blunt. Cause I understand for you having your eyes closed, cause you bitch made. You feel me? You ain't him dragging right now. You feel me? You bitch dragging. So you get your eyes closed while you holding the baby. But how the fuck you ain't feel the baby slide out and get replaced by the wooden stump? How the fuck you can't tell the difference between a hard wooden stump and a soft baby body? All right, so emus, we cut back to emu rocks and them emus withering away. Emu says it's too late to throw it up. Oh, that's Big Mom and Kaido talking. Kaido says it's too late to throw it up. Then Big Mom says, then pay me back. And we see also Rogers and Garp arguing. Um, Garp says my one attack was all it took. And then Roger screams, "No way, it was all me." And then Rocks screams, "Hey, don't tell me you're." And then we see Emu say, "A new bunch of the Davy." He said, "A new branch of the Davy clan. The woman and her child, fictitiously, frantically trying to survive. Such dangerous lives must not be set loose." So Emu is watching. Oh no. Okay, so I skipped ahead. So while Garp, Rocks, and everybody else arguing with each other, Emu was talking to I mean what while Garp and Rogers is arguing, and Kaido and Big Mom are arguing, Rocks and Emu having dialogue. Emu says, "There they are, far away in the forest running." And then Rock says, "Hey, don't tell me your." Emu cuts him off and says, "A new branch of the Davy clan, the woman and her child, frantically trying to survive. Such dangerous lives must not be set loose." Rocks jumps up and cut Emu up some more, saying, "Stop it." He said, "What are you trying to do?" And then we see Garp look up as he's noticing this. Garp sees Emu stab Rocks with some tentacles as Rocks is chopping them up. Emu says, "It will not be Mu who acts." And Rock says, "What is this? It doesn't hurt or even itch." And then Emu says, "Thou shalt be the one to exterminate them. Go forth and slay your wife and child." And Rocks is like, "Huh? That's absurd. What are you talking about?" And then Emu says, "Domi reversi." As he says that, we see Whitebeard, Garp, and Rocks and Big Mom looking up as fangs start to grow from Rox's mouth. And his eyes go white and his face is getting black. And then we cut, it says, "And what lies in stores for Rock's family." That's sad, okay? Every I'm pretty sure everybody know and probably feel the same way, but we all like Rocks. That's why my number one theory that we gonna start off with is I think Rock's gonna die a horrible death, fo. Like his death scene gonna be so brutal. if not brutal. It's gonna be just so sad the way it go down. Think about how Ace death impacted everybody, and we ain't like we got Ace, but we didn't get that much of Ace. You feel me? The way they gave us rocks in a way that made us fall in love with this man way faster than we fell in love with Ace. Okay, and it's partially because how he was introduced to us as this bad, evil, just horrible figure, like this main boss villain type guy that had to be taken down for the old generation. You feel me? But in reality, this guy was like just as just as much of a attractive person as Luffy is as far as the energy they put out and how they draw people in. You feel me? Like prime example, how Whitebeard and Kaido came to stand with the man to fight in his moment, facing what he facing, bro. That's because it like and knowing they don't got no ties to him, no obligations. You feel me? They ain't slime him out like everybody else could, like everybody else did. Harold a bitch on phone. How you gonna deny this man friendship, bro? And like, and then once we found out that his whole reason for going to God's Valley in the first place was literally to save his wife and kids, who he thought he sent there for protection. Like, I thought they were gonna make us hate the man, but they did what they did fictitiously to make us love him the way that we all like really rock with this man right now. And they gonna take him from us, bro. It's gonna hit. We know they gonna take him from us, but they gonna do it in a way it's gonna hit harder than Ace. I'm telling you, it's gonna hit harder than Ace. Till this day, the saddest One Piece death has been Ace, in my opinion. Number two might be Odin, but that motherfucker got won't. We ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about that, but yeah, they gonna take rocks from us tragically. All right, but let's see. What was my next theory I want to talk about? Let's go back through the chapter because there was some stuff I wanted to speak on. Okay, so I was wanting to speak on Rogers a bit, okay? In my last couple of reviews, if y'all been following, I've really been anticipating and expecting Rogers and Rocks to fight and have some type of dialogue, you feel me, and things like that of that nature. Maybe it can still happen because with these Domi Reversey people, they still talk, they still run their mouth. So maybe Rocks might tell Roger some things while Roger's trying to stop him. Cause now I can see it. Now I thought Sengoku lied, but now I can see Rocks and Garp teaming up to stop Rocks from killing his family. Okay, so that might be true now from what Sengoku was saying. He seems like less of a liar now. Still a liar because he didn't give us the whole truth, but less of a fabricated liar. So they can still fight. They can still clash, and Rocks could still be running his domey reversey mouth, saying things, try to get to Rogers, letting them know how naive he is. Because I believe by this time Rogers did sail and get to what he thought was the last island, and before he found out about Laugh-Tale. Think he's gonna get this information from Rocks during this fight. Rocks gonna say some shit to him probably about him being naive and just trying to say some stuff to get with him because it seems like you gotta be in a fucked up mental state in order to get Domi reversing. That's what I just took from that. Because when Emu did it to Rocks, he started talking about Rox's family, insinuating the death of Rox's family, or that they was in danger, or that they needed to die. Once they got into that mental state, once Rox got into that mental state of wanting to protect that person, Emu pierced them and Domi reversed him in order for him to go kill that person. Elbath, when Emu showed up, Dorian Bragi, he was telling them already before he Domi reversed them. He was doing the same thing. You gotta go kill Ja Rule. Elder Ja Rule gotta die. Elder Ja Rule gotta die. He must die. It's over with for him. You guys gonna kill him though. And then he Domi reversed them and told them go kill him. Right as they was getting into the mind state of what are you talking about? We not finna kill, you feel me? We not killing them. Ja Rule ain't dying. No, we gonna protect Ja Rule. You feel me, on bro? That's what they was going for when it happened. So I think you have to be a mental state of you gotta get you in a distressed mental state of wanting to protect somebody. And then he could take that and Dome reverse you and get you to do his bid and then actually, you feel me, go after that person. So I think Domi Reversi, that's that person on the sole mission to complete what Emu told them to do. Now, once that's done, do they remain in a demon form? Do they instantly die? Because it says in exchange for your lifespan, you're gonna get power, but how much of your lifespan, you feel me? How long do you have that power? Just long enough to get the mission done? We gonna find out more. But like I said, Rocks and Rogers gonna be fighting. You can say something to him, because he gonna be trying to get him in that mental state where he can, Domi reverse Rogers, because a Domi reverse person can reverse other people. Now, or it can go down like what I more so think is gonna happen is, like I said, Garp and Rogers gonna still team up to stop Rocks. Um, and while that's going on, they're gonna actually succeed. They're gonna succeed and free Rocks from the Domi reversing. But he gonna be real weak at that moment, you feel me? It's gonna probably be a moment where he like, man, you feel me? Like real worn out, tired, damn, and he just like ready to faint to his knees and collapse. And then fucking Garland gonna come out of nowhere and slime folks out the worst way. It literally might be some shit where like they literally save him, and when they save him, he might be around his family and his wife and his son. They might be in around like what's his wife name? Whatever her name is, forget her name. But Rock's wife and Blackbeard might be right there when he finally gets saved. You feel me? And get broken out the dome in reverse by almost you feel like getting beat halfway to death. That might be the only way to stop it. And right when he getting ready to collapse in his wife's arms, you feel me? Figgle and Garland gonna come back out of nowhere to get his get back and slam him out. And in his dying words, he gonna be speaking to his family and to Rogers and tell Rogers like, man, you gotta really learn about the truth of the world. You feel me? And woo 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 and X Y Z and the third. I don't know what the exact dialogue could be, but somewhere down the line, something has to happen to actually hint Rogers towards the direction of okay, there's a final island. You need to go sail the seas again to learn the truth. You feel me? We still got to get the information of how Rocks knew all this stuff himself. What's so important about the Davy clan and that lineage. So yes, I'm really feeling like we gonna get some dialogue between the two. Something gonna happen, man. Something is gonna happen that's gonna make Rocks and Roger sell the seas, and that's gonna make Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido decide to form the warlord system. I mean, not the warlord system, but the emperor system. That's gonna make them set all that in motion. Those are really the only theories I got for going on. Um, I have no idea what role Big Mom, Kaido, and Whitebeard are gonna play. Maybe they're gonna continue to fight Emu while Rogers and Garp stop Rocks. I don't know, but that's it for tonight, y'all. I'm gonna take my ass to bed. It's 2 274. We finna sign out for tonight.